The sight at the Richland crossovers on January 18th, 2020 is about as good as Railfanning gets. Welcome back to the Sunshine State Rails. It's Martin Luther King weekend, and we have made our way back up to Central Florida just north of Vitus Junction at the Richland crossovers, arriving to a green signal and a headlight to the south. The headlight to the south is a train that I discussed in a recent video, but hadn't actually caught yet. Q220, as needed auto racks from Winston, Florida to Montgomery, Alabama. I say as needed because though this train runs daily, if Q213 hasn't run the day before, his origination isn't the same every day. So he can run from either Baldwin or Winston depending on how trains ran the night before. But the green signal is for a train that we would normally never expect to see at this time of the morning. So this is also kind of a temporary update. Just north of Waycross, Georgia on the CSX Fitzgerald sub, there has been a curfew going on that has caused inbound trains to Waycross to be coming in much later than normal. I don't know if this curfew is maintenance related or not, but it's causing trains inbound to Waycross to get in much later which run that sub. It's also caused many reroutes for unit trains. But the unit trains aren't in question here. The train that was about to meet Q220, and which I set up on the wrong side for because the light was on this side, was train Q60318, nightly mixed freight from Waycross, Georgia to Winston Yard. This train, normally leaving Waycross at about 8 p.m., would arrive in Winston between 3 to 5 in the morning, but this curfew has pushed his departure time back to about 1:30 a.m., putting him here at about 9:30 a.m. Since Q603 hit some sort of slowdown on the Vitus subdivision, we'll see this train again in better light later. Making our way back to Lakeland, by the time we got just south of Kathleen, we found that we were ahead of 603 again. So to get him in better light and without a train blocking him, we set up at one more railroad crossing to shoot him coming south. Trailing second was one of CSX's new CM44 ACs, number 7205, and this is the third time that I've seen that engine now. Back down to Winston Yard and met up with my friend Dalton as 603 pulled into the yard. Right after 603 pulled in, I had to run down to the end of the dead-end street to catch 0738 with one boxcar headed north on the Lakeland sub to Carter's Siding to switch some customer. From then until we got that train, 0738, going back to Winston, there hadn't been any action. After that, we moved up to South Lakeland to catch Amtrak 91 with Mr. Aaron Carter at the controls, powering out of a stop here at South Lakeland to come into another stop at the Amtrak station in downtown. South Lakeland is the very crest of a 2-mile-long hill from Winston Pass to here. Here at South Lakeland, just past the cantilever signal, the two tracks come together and at the same time form the south leg of the Lakeland Junction Y. Amtrak won't be taking this Y, instead he'll be going straight to head into downtown and stop at the Amtrak station. We stuck at South Lakeland because we heard of an L453 coming out of Winston headed to Miami with mixed freight. This train is another result of the Fitzgerald sub curfew that we talked about this morning. 453 normally makes his way from Waycross, makes a stop in Winston for a crew change and yard duties, and then continues south from there on the same track that this train would, to Miami. But the difference between that and this train is that they are two different IDs. Though they are pretty much doing the same things, Q453 leaves from Miami about 3 p.m., arriving at Winston between 1 to 4 a.m. that night. Then the next day, around this time, about 2 p.m., they leave Winston Yard with another crew as L453 to Miami. I don't know why the ID changes had to be done like this just because of a curfew, but again, I'm nobody for the railroad yet, so I wouldn't know that. That would be the last train for Saturday, but we came back out on Sunday, sticking to our Palmetto subdivision and the Tampa area, to catch 0823 that had a special locomotive in the lead. I'm starting the description early here because the very first shot I got was rushed, and there's absolutely no time to explain anything once it starts. 082319 had a special locomotive leading northbound, but we missed it in Bradenton by 10 minutes, so we had to chase it all the way to here until we caught it. This was just south of Tampa, so it was one of our last shots. So here it is, the beginning on the Palmetto subdivision of January 19th, 2020. Now, I won't lie when I say that that video you just saw was completely raw. That was the start, that was the end. When those gates went down, I had absolutely no idea how close the train was until I actually got out of the car. But we still had a chance to see the locomotive that I wanted to see. Since 0823 drops off the Tropicana juice cars in Yeoman Yard for Q442 to pick up later, we were able to move to 78th Street where the locomotives would move from there to Uceda Yard. They would have to come past here to switch tracks. But when we first got to 78th Street, there was an empty fertilizer train sitting there. It was K30918, an as-needed empty fertilizer train from Port Manatee back to the New Wales phosphate processing facility. We were only there for a few minutes before we turned around and saw another headlight coming from the north. It must have been one of the other Bone Valley phosphate trains coming from somewhere deep in the Bone Valley. Finally, 0823's power came from inside the yard. The leader that I've been so hyped about this morning was one of CSX's new SD70 MACE locomotives. These are overhauled and rebuilt SD70 Max. I'm not really one to say how you should pronounce this identification because there's 100 different ways to do it. Either way, it's a new locomotive and I wanted to see it. After that, we head south a little bit and find our 075019. He's got a solo GP40-3 number 6546. He has just finished switching a customer called Blue Links down on this siding track, and he is now coming back to the main line after dropping a loaded center beam and box car into the spur track. The train that he has left on the main line is some sort of hopper train bound for Big Bend. After the forecast had been showing it all day, it finally began to rain. After raining for a little while, it subsided a little bit as we made our way south one crossing or two to set up for 750 highballing his way to Big Bend to drop off these cars. got done early this day, so we were able to get back to the Florida Railroad Museum just in time to see them heading back north to Willow Yard to put the train away for the week. Well, my friends, the time has come. On January 25th, the Jetto Coal number 85 steam locomotive will begin its first runs here at the Florida Railroad Museum. Have you got your ticket to come out and ride? Be sure to get one if you haven't. There's plenty available, so don't worry. On terms of filming the steam locomotive, the best opportunity for pictures and videos will be during the run-bys which are given at Willow, which will only be accessible via a train ticket. So be sure to get your train ticket now before they sell out. Thanks to all the volunteers that keep this museum running every single day. And in Willow, Florida, this is Kotabeaner, and I'll see you next time on the Sunshine State Rails.